One of the more heated exchanges from the House Judiciary Committee hearing today came when New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew grilled Attorney General Merrick Garland about the anti-Catholic memo circulated within the Department of Justice. Watch.
Do you agree that traditional Catholics are violent extremists?
I have no idea what the traditional means here.
Catholics,
let me
Catholics
just
that go to church.
May I answer your question?
Yes or no?
The idea that someone with my family background would discriminate against any religion is so outrageous, so absurd.
Mr. Attorney General, it was your FBI that did this. It was your FBI that was sending, and we have the memos, we have the emails, we're sending undercover agents into Catholic churches.
Both I and the director of the FBI have said that we were appalled. Have said that we were appalled by that memo.
So then you agree that they're not extremists?
We were appalled by that memo.
Are they extremists or not, Attorney General?
I think that...
Are they extremists or not, Attorney General?
Everything in that memo is
Are they
appalling.
extremists or not? I'm asking a simple question. Say no if you think that was wrong.
Catholics are not extremists. No.
Well, let's bring in Eric Metaxas, host of the Eric Metaxas radio show and author of Letter to the American Church. Eric, before we jump into that book, I just want that back and forth, what happened exactly after that exchange was Van Drew asked Attorney General Garland, did anyone get fired? Was there any accountability? And he couldn't say yes.
That was exactly my question. In other words, you can talk and talk and talk. What happened with that memo, the targeting of quote unquote traditional Catholics, of pro-life people, is so despicable. It's so un-American. The only normal response, if that happened, which of course it did, is for heads to roll, for people to be fired. When you hear Garland talk, you understand there's a culture in the Department of Justice and the FBI. They have an animus against people of serious Christian faith. There's no doubt about it. So he can talk and, deny, but he didn't do the thing that you would do if you were genuinely appalled by it. And so, of course, Americans are horrified to know that this is happening in America. We should be horrified. We should push back with everything we have. It's as un-American as anything in our history to have this kind of thing going on. It's what they did in Nazi Germany. They would send the Gestapo into churches to spy on people, to make sure they weren't saying the wrong things. That's where we are in America, thanks to Garland and Biden.
Well, and thanks to Van Drew, he kept at it because Garland did exactly what you said. He played the victim, and he incited, you think, someone with my background, meaning earlier in the testimony, he said he had some connection to the Holocaust. Okay, fine, horrible, horrendous. But that doesn't mean your DOJ, your FBI didn't make a horrific mistake by doing what they did, and he had no accountability.
Well, that's one of a million horrible things that they did. Well, look, we should threaten to defund the FBI. When the FBI and the DOJ have been weaponized against American citizens, are behaving in this way, they are not serving the taxpayers. They are serving evil forces that are as anti-American as it gets. And this is something that, if your churches aren't talking about this, I say this over and over and over, if you're going to a church that is ignoring this kind of thing, you're guilty. This is as bad as it has ever been in the United States of America. It's horrifying. And people of faith, if you have any kind of faith, you better push against this. And even if you don't have faith, if you're an American, this is as un-American and despicable as it gets. That's this administration.
All right, Eric, before we go, talk about your new book, the book. Tell us what inspired you to write and what's it about.
Letter to the American Church. I wrote it because about 12 years ago, I wrote a book about Nazi Germany and how the silence of the church in Nazi Germany led to the evils of the Nazis taking power. And most Christians at the time didn't really know what they were opening the door to. They just said, oh, we don't want to be political. We just want to do church. We don't want to get political in our church. Well, that's what's been happening in America. You have a lot of pulpits where the pastor or the priest says, oh, I don't want to be political. If you're not being political, if you're not speaking against this evil, you are letting it happen. And you could mention 100 issues. We've talked about it on this program, on your program, the transgender lunacy that families are dealing with, the open borders. We're having children raped and sex trafficked because We have an administration that has an open border policy. It's letting drug cartels take. If churches do not speak out against this stuff, they are as complicit in these evils and the evils that will follow as the German church was complicit. And if you think it can't happen here, they didn't think it could happen in Germany. They thought, you know what? The pendulum swings back and forth. We'll get through this. The silence of the church opened the door to hell on earth in Germany. And my book, Letter to the American Church, says that's exactly what's happening now. Not what's going to happen. It is what is happening now because of many American churches.
All right. Well, congratulations. Good luck with the book. Eric Metaxas, thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.